A 50 beat up Ja Rule in Atlanta.
Brace yourselves for one of the most talked about feuds in hip-hop history, reigniting with a fresh spark.
Crazy, man. Gilly said, hold on, go back to that part.
Decades may have passed since the first shots were fired between 50 Cent and Ja Rule.
What happened, man?
50 beat up Ja Rule in Atlanta. Like, he was there. Rest in peace to Chaz. I know 50 ain't really like that.
But the tension still crackles every time their names appear in the same sentence.
Many man, Slim switch sides on me. I'm just truthful, like real street shit.
Fans who lived through the early 2000s remember the diss tracks.
I tell y'all, because y'all street show, that's what I feel.
The heated exchanges.
But like, Ja Rule and them, we there, Chaz there. Chaz like, go in the hotel, yeah, it was so good.
And the endless speculation over who truly got the upper hand.
All right, cool. Ja Rule there. This is after 50 got murdered. I don't believe you. Black Child and them there. Nigga, Fifth KO'd that.
Today, we're diving back into that storm thanks to a story recently told by Tony Yayo.
So look, Ja Rule just come in the elevator. Murder!
An account that has the internet buzzing with questions about what really happened.
So look.
He didn't say that. He didn't say murder.
Who emerged victorious, and whether this infamous saga will ever truly die down.
I'm not a rapper. I never was with this rapper shit.
In a podcast appearance, Yayo described a dramatic moment in Atlanta involving chain-snatching, an elevator confrontation, bruised egos, and a bruised face, all culminating in yet another twist to add to the legendary 50 Cent versus Ja Rule feud. Naturally, Ja Rule was quick to dismiss this retelling as pure fiction, branding a cap and backing up his claims with strong words aimed at Yayo and G-Unit overall. In typical Ja Rule fashion, he also fired up social media, effectively reviving the feud for a new generation of fans who might have missed the original explosion. Time may have changed many players involved, but it seems the bitterness and rivalry still linger beneath the surface, ready to erupt at the slightest provocation. What makes this latest chapter so compelling is how it stirs up the old debate over what truly happened behind the scenes. We all know the broad strokes. 50 Cent and Ja Rule had one of the most public feuds in hip-hop, a saga that arguably paved the way for countless rap beefs to follow. Diss tracks were launched from both camps. Affiliates and insiders gave interviews loaded with their own biases, and rumors spread like wildfire across message boards, magazines, and early hip-hop websites. Now that we're in the social media era, these rumors have new life. Posts on Instagram, tweets, and viral comment threads have become the modern-day battleground. Fans want to know who's telling the truth, who might be stretching the facts, and whether there exists undisclosed footage or hidden documentation to confirm or debunk these claims. The curiosity level is through the roof, especially given Tony Yayo's comedic style that makes his entire story both entertaining and outlandish. Before dissecting all the details, let's map out our approach. First, we'll revisit the earliest days of the 50 Cent Ja Rule rivalry, ensuring everyone's up to speed on how these two heavyweights found themselves at odds. Next, we'll examine Tony Yayo's interview, where he recounts an alleged confrontation in Atlanta, what kicked it off, who was there, and what supposedly took place. We'll then explore the immediate fallout, Ja Rule's reaction on social media, the mentions of legal action and orders of protection, and the swirl of fan commentary. After that, we'll discuss the comedic barbershop-style spin Yayo applied, blending seriousness and humor in a way that's turned heads online. Then, we'll analyze the perspective offered by Urban Politicians TV, which observed that simply losing a fight or getting robbed doesn't define a person's manhood. Yet the comedic delivery here is what got people buzzing. Finally, we'll ponder whether this incident offers anything truly new, or if it's just another layer of folklore in one of hip-hop's longest-running sagas. By structuring it this way, we'll keep the energy high, addressing who, what, where, when, and why, so you can see how each step fits into the broader picture. Let's begin with the backstory that set the stage for this epic, seemingly never-ending rivalry. The seeds of discord between 50 Cent and Ja Rule can be traced back to Queens, New York, where both artists grew up. They had some undeniable similarities. Both were hustling to break out in rap, both had roots in street life that influenced their music, and both wanted the top spot in the industry. In early interviews, it's clear they crossed paths in some capacity before the feud, but something went awry. Some say it started with a chain-snatching incident. Aptly, chain-related mishaps keep popping up in this rivalry. Others believe it was a clash of personalities or a misunderstanding that blew up. Whatever the true catalyst, by the early 2000s, 50 Cent was unloading scathing diss tracks aimed at Ja Rule and Murder Incorporated, and Ja Rule was returning fire. This rivalry deeply shaped both artists' careers. Ja Rule had already established himself with radio-friendly hits and an R&B tinge style that dominated the charts. 50 Cent, backed by Eminem and Dr. Dre, burst onto the scene as an underdog with a more aggressive rap style, declaring war on his competition. For a time, 50 Cent felt unstoppable. His debut album soared, and he built a movement around G-Unit that included Tony Yayo, Lloyd Banks, and Young Buck, each developing their own loyal fan bases. Meanwhile, Ja Rule contended with legal challenges surrounding Murder Incorporated and shifting public perception. The feud took its toll, especially with 50 Cent ceaselessly attacking him in media. Even though new beefs arose in hip-hop over the years, the 50 Cent-Ja Rule rivalry still holds legendary status, ensuring it never truly fades.
Ja Rule in Atlanta, stealing a chain and leaving him with a noteworthy bruise. According to Yayo, it sounds straight from a cinematic script. A tense hotel environment, an elevator showdown, bystanders from Murder Incorporated, like Black Child, and someone named Chaz trying to maintain peace. Yayo claims that 50 landed a single, sharp punch, enough to KO or nearly KO Ja Rule, and then flaunted the chain in an elevator afterward. The comedic twist lies in how Yayo narrates these events. He jokes about cookies on Ja's face and mimics the word murder in an elongated way, prompting laughter on the podcast. It's less like a sober recollection and more like a barbershop story. Possibly exaggerated, but laced with enough real detail to keep listeners engaged. Yayo also peppers in references to studio sessions with Dr. Dre, early days in Los Angeles, and run-ins with Kanye West, setting a scene of hip-hop's past glory. This abrupt shift from starstruck industry tales to sudden hotel brawls underscores the dramatic flair of his storytelling. Whether you take it as comedic gold or question its veracity, the interview segment is undeniably entertaining. Almost immediately after the interview went live, Ja Rule fired back on social media, labeling Yayo's story cap. He included clown and rat emojis, while also invoking references to G-Unit's alleged orders of protection and possible lawsuits. Ja teased that Yayo and his crew had turned to legal measures at some point, calling Tony Yayo by his real name, Marvin Bernard, and claiming, "I know who I paid." The tension spiked as Ja Rule's post threatened to bring real heat, saying he would beat earth, wind, and fire out of Yayo if he ever felt the need. The sincerity of these threats is up for debate, but social media lit up with fans taking sides, turning the situation into a top trending topic. If the main objective was to reignite interest in an old rivalry, mission accomplished. Beneath the surface, though, lies a deeper reality. The original conflict went beyond just verbal sparring. It included genuine street-level implications and swirling allegations. Many fans wonder if resurrecting such stories now does any real damage, or if it's just a spectacle for online clicks. On the one hand, it's a nostalgic callback to an era of hip-hop many revere. On the other hand, some question whether retelling borderline violent episodes in comedic tones trivializes real risks once faced by the people involved. That's where Urban Politicians TV enters the scene. Acting as observer and commentator, the host emphasized that losing a fight or facing a robbery doesn't diminish anyone's worth. It can happen to anyone. Instead, what resonated with fans was the comedic spin Yayo gave to the story. That outlandish barbershop vibe, complete with repeated murder jokes and comedic timing, is what catapulted the interview clip into viral status. So while the event might be decades old, repackaging it with humor and fresh details makes it relevant again, especially in a digital culture that thrives on shareable, meme-worthy content. In essence, the comedic telling turned a grim tale of violence into something that fans could laugh at, debate, and pass around online. This underscores the blurred lines between raw authenticity and performative storytelling in hip-hop. Figures like Tony Yayo build their brands on street credibility, but also on their ability to spin real experiences into gripping narratives. Fans may argue about which details are overblown or downright fabricated, yet the purpose is partly to entertain, and by extension, to remind everyone that the G-Unit vs. Murder Incorporated feud was never just about music, but also about pride, bravado, and the unending question of who's more real